Hey guys, today as you can see I have the Beyblade Burst Evolution Elite Warrior 4-pack. And as you can see I got this for the more anime accurate Genesis Valtryek and the other Beyblades that it comes with. So you saw the front, and now here's the bottom, the top, the sides, and of course the back, which shows you the parts, the stats for the 4 Beyblades it comes with, and the gimmicks that Valtryek comes with, since it's a part of the Switch Strike system and all that stuff. And without further ado, let's open this. Here's everything out of the box. So now, let's go over the instructions. Just kidding. Anyway, so the Excalias layer is almost the same as what you'd get with the 2-pack with Trigger S, just some minor bits of detail missing, and the green plastic being darker. Slightly darker. The central disc has more centered weight, and was decent back then, but is of course outclassed by newer discs. The press driver is decent for defense, but it's of course again outclassed by newer systems. The Dronzer layer looks pretty close to the original attack ring that Dronzer S came with, but unfortunately, the burst resistance on it is not that great. On both the Takara Tomy version and, of course, the Hasbro version, which is what you're looking at here. Still cool looking layer though. Spread is pretty good because it has its weight more spread out. And mine has a 2 on it and 2 stars. Kinda ironic, isn't it? Liner is a okay-ish driver. It's not the best though. Now for the Excalias X2 layer, this was a pretty hyped layer because it had 3 layers of plastic. The golden sword, the clear red, and of course the clear blue. And it turned out being pretty good for attack, though it was notorious for breakage, especially on the grip and the guard and all that stuff. Magnum is a pretty interesting disc, since it's half metal and half plastic. Pretty unique disc back then, but again, outclassed by newer systems. Impact is an interesting driver. It's half rubber and half plastic, but of course it's not as good as Extreme, but still pretty decent driver nonetheless. Of course, the Genesis Valtryek or God Valkyrie layer has the spring gimmick, which I've mentioned before in other videos that I've featured him in. But this one is almost the same as the one you'd get from the Starstorm battle set, so there's that. So if you're looking for a more accurate version of this Beyblade, but don't want to get the Storm battle set, then this is where you're going to get it. There's the code, by the way. And of course, 6 and Vortex is a decent disc combination, but of course it's outclassed by newer blade systems. And so now here are both the disc and the frame separate. So there's 6. Pretty interesting disc. And Vortex was pretty good back then, but again is outclassed by stuff like Meteor and Wall and all that. Of course, Reboot is basically has the same gimmick as Final Drive, except the tip is completely plastic, has no rubber on it at all. And of course, if you launch hard enough, the gray tabs will come out and the gray tip will be exposed. And as it slows down, the tabs and tip will shift back in and release the last bit of energy. And now assembling the Beyblade. This one feels a lot tighter than my other Genesis Valtryek, which I have, and we'll compare it a little later. So if you want a better version of this with a better burst resistance, then yeah. And Excalias feels pretty good, all things considered, despite being a dual layer blade, or bay if you will. So there's that. Of course, Dronzer has the weakest resistance of the 4 Beyblades in this pack, but it's alright otherwise. And with the press driver, I would say that Dracile's burst resistance is average at best. The original Dracile S came with a green press instead of blue. So yeah, there's that. Still the same Beyblade though, technically. There's a bottom view of Dracile once again. And now we'll get to a spin test and test battle. But first, here's a side-by-side comparison between the two Genesis Valtryeks I have. The biggest difference being the colors and the strength of the spring used in both drivers. Now let's give Dracile a spin. Pretty average for a defense-type blade. Now here's Dronzer. Not bad, not bad. And now for X2. It looks really awesome when it's spinning with all the blue, gold, and red and stuff. It's awesome. So that was a rush launch, or rush shoot. Now here's a straight shoot. Again, pretty awesome. And finally, Valtryek V3. Of course. Yeah. Awesome. Now for a rush shoot with it. Nice. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and follow me on social media. This is Cody the Dragon Samurai, signing off.